Hey all, Steffen here with another Q&A video in my Ask Steffen series. So if you're new here and you're interested in getting direct videos answering your questions, please feel free to post comments on the community posts where I ask you guys to give me questions. Question is, are urban highways ever useful? And how does it in general play out with the principle of induced demand? So I've found when you want to have a meaningful discussion about roads where you actually want to learn something and focus on the technical aspects instead of just the ideology, it's very helpful to drop a lot of the technical jargon, like the official terms like arterial, highway, freeway, because it means a lot of things to different people. And there's not like everyone has the same definition for everything. So what I instead like to do is simply describe what each travel surface tends to try to accomplish. And then it's just much more helpful to get around any kind of misunderstandings of what I mean by a specific word. So in the Netherlands, you could describe most of the travel surfaces here with two kinds of functionalities. The first is access, so how to get to the surrounding locations. You know, the street that I'm walking next to provides access to the houses here. And the second function is flow, or through roads, where you use a road to get somewhere that's quite a long ways away from you. And you can further split it up into what we call short through roads when you're driving through your internal city or metro area, and long through roads when you're traveling from one city to a completely different city that's really far away. That's exactly what you could describe the Dutch freeway system as, a series of long through roads. So you would use a long through road to go from Rotterdam to The Hague, or going from Groningen to Amsterdam or something like that. But what you don't see very much are long through roads that go through cities, because as the description implies, you're using it to go long distances, not short distances. So that's why Dutch freeways don't tend to go through the middle of cities. If you were to go on Google Maps right now and look up the Dutch freeway system, you'll notice that they almost always kind of stick to the outskirts of Dutch cities, and there's not a huge amount of development adjacent to them. However, that's not how it ended up working out in the United States. Generally, freeway in the United States simply means a very fast road, so a road that you can go high speeds on. And it's very common to see freeways cutting straight through urbanized areas. In fact, it happens more often than not, where a freeway will run through a city instead of going around a city. So we can't really describe it as a long through road, because it's very often that people use a freeway to reach a different location in the same city. So we are attracting all different kinds of movements on the American freeway system, long through movements, but also lots of short through movements. If you're familiar with this topic, you can probably guess that this is where the whole problem of induced demand comes from, because once you have a freeway cutting through an urban space, due to the high speeds, it becomes much faster to take the freeway instead of any of the adjacent local roads. And during peak traffic volumes, the travel times will continue to increase, and the average speeds on the freeway will continue to decrease until it's around the same as using local roads. That's why urban freeways don't really make a lot of sense, because of all the local traffic they end up accumulating. It becomes quite inefficient, and then you also then back up the traffic that is coming from very far away. And then you have these strange situations where people will try to take these long detours around cities like Los Angeles because they're on the freeway to go somewhere very far away, but they can only really go through Los Angeles and then deal with all the traffic there due to all the local traffic from Los Angeles using the freeway as well. It's much better and preferable to have a uniform system of relatively narrow through urban roads that are just one lane wide in each direction, that average around 30 miles per hour, because that is perfect for servicing local through needs. And then just having the freeways focus on long through needs. If that makes sense, and if you're interested, stick around later for part 3, where we're going to talk about if widening urban roads even has an effect on induced demand to begin with.